Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Garden Revival BBQ, the podcast where we answer your big burning questions about gardening and don't grill any hamburgers. We don't take ourselves too seriously, but we're very serious about plants. We record the podcast live on our Discord server. Join our community on gardenrev.com/discord. In today's episode, we'll be talking about plants and garden decor that can add spooky, goth, or phantasmagoric vibes to indoor and outdoor gardens. Not just on Halloween, but all year long. I am your host, IG, the indecisive gardener who still has hundreds of bulbs to get in the ground. Co-hosting with me is the one bunny who refuses to eat my plants, SpaceButler.
Oh, well, I've been meaning to try that foxglove out back.
You'll do anything to get out of eating your veggies, won't you? Today we have our original panel in the house. Professional gardener Zappy Snaps.
Hi.
Hey. And ecologist Passiflora.
Hey there.
So guys, kill any plants lately?
Oh, have I killed any plants lately? I'm about to kill some tomatoes.
Oh, you are the frost. Are you taking credit for nature's doing?
I'm gonna pull them out before the frost so that I can sow a cover crop. So I am actually going to kill them.
What are you planting as a cover crop?
Winter rye and some veg. Just a nice good mix. Maybe some fava beans.
Ooh.
And then what do you do with the cover crop once it's done covering? Do you pull it out or just cover it?
No, I crimp them basically. Like you wait for them to get mature enough that when you squish them, they'll just die. Really close to flowering or just flowering before they've set seeds, and then you basically. Some people just get a board, but my friend who works on a bigger farm said you can get a piece of plywood and attach a rope to it for a handle and just do a whole plywood sheet's worth at a time. So you flop down the plywood and walk across it, and your weight will crush the stems and they'll die.
Oh, wow. And they don't come back from the root?
Nope, because they're annuals.
Right.
Once they're dead, and they are a great mulch that you can just plant into, depending on what crop you're following with.
Oh.
Well, that's convenient.
Yeah.
How do you still have any energy and motivation to garden? I am so pooped from gardening. I don't like fall. I will never say that I like fall, but it's kind of a relief.
Yeah, I feel very refreshed now that it's fall because finally, the weather is no longer in the 80s or 90s. There's a cool mist in the air. There's clouds. There's a breeze. It's just a relief from summer. I don't like summer very much anymore because, it's 90 degrees and hot.
Well, you work outside all day.
Yeah, exactly.
I think if I was in your shoes, I would curse summer.
Yeah, so fall's a little bit of a rejuvenation, and since I'm in a mild enough climate, there's still stuff to do in the garden. Other places it gets super cold and everything's frozen and dead and there's nothing to do, and here's time to plant some cover crops. Here's some overwintering vegetables. Harvest this, that, and the other thing. It's fun.
Speaking of frozen and dead, how's your garden doing, Passi?
It has been a unsettlingly warm autumn for me.
Really?
Yeah, it's really straight. It's been raining a little bit, just a tiny, tiny little bit. But yeah, it's weird. All the trees actually had a chance to go to their beautiful fall colors, and the leaves were on the trees for weeks, and it was nice. Whereas normally it's the trees kind of start changing color, and then we have an early frost and everything falls off the trees, and then it's just sad brown for several months. But no, it's been a picture perfect fall.
Wow. For those of you who don't know, Passi is in Alberta, which is it zone 3 or zone 4 these days?
I think it's still zone 3.
Okay.
Technically, I don't know. I mean, we've had such warm years recently that I wouldn't be shocked if they readjust it and say it's zone 4 now.
Yeah, it takes some math that math people do. And Zappy is in the Pacific Northwest. That's Zone 8. Is that right, Zappy?
Yep. Zone 8.
Yep. So what are you growing? Do you even have time to grow anything? You're so busy these days, Passi.
Oh, I know. I've been so busy that the plants that I've killed have all been just purely neglect. From where I sit at my desk here in my office, I can look over to my left and I see a tray of begonia cuttings that I had started and they were rooted and they were growing and they've already started dying, most of them, just because they've been in a humidity dome for too long. But yeah, it's my fault that I'm a little bit too busy. I guess
well, it isn't, it isn't.
Yeah.
I mean, you took on the responsibilities, but your professor thinks that you shouldn't delegate to peons? What?
I mean, it's reasonable, you know. This way I can't blame anybody but myself, which is fair. But the real killer for me has been the fact that when I was starting this grad program, I was thinking to myself, like, I'd really like to keep my health benefits with work, as well as all my other benefits. And so I did the math, and I tried to figure out how many hours I would need to work to make it the same as, like, if I was a graduate student doing the TA stipend kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
And I figured out the numbers, and I was like, okay, this is cool. And then I, signed myself out of being a TA for school. I still have to TA one course as part of the program, so I'm doing that now while also doing all of my classes. And I found out after I had done all those things and school had already started that with work, if I'm doing fewer than 20 hours a week, I don't get any health benefits because I'm no longer considered a full-time employee. So I'm working 20 hours a week while a full-time student and TAing.
Oh, God. Oh, Passi.
A little rough.
I'm so sorry.
It's fine. I have no one to blame but myself and my health benefits.
Oh. Do you at least have any fun Halloween plans?
I do, actually. I was invited to a Halloween party, which will be a ton of fun. I'm 3D printing part of my costume. I'm going as Seymour from Little Shop of Horrors, and I'm 3D printing the Audrey 2, which I'll have in a coffee can.
Aw.
What about you, Zappy? You doing anything for Halloween?
I'm kind of a grouch. I turn off the light and hide.
Well, the unfriendly lady is sort of a Halloween staple, so really you're helping to uphold the tradition.
Sure.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Along with the vines overgrowing the walkway up to the house, making it look all creepy. I could add some creepy stuff, but I'm probably not going to.
I'm just going to say that I am not cleaning up the garden because I want it to look spooky for the kids. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
I think that's a good move, A lot of bugs and small critters like to have those leaves for living in over the fall and winter, so may as well leave them on the ground for them, and it looks spooky.
And all the seed heads.
Yeah, and I'm leaving all the spider webs around the door on purpose, also wink, wink. All right, I think it's time to get to the topic of this episode, which is Halloween for all seasons.
Yeah, today we're going to talk about some plants for people who love Halloween or just like to wear black all the time. So we'll be working our way up from the ground up to infuse some spookiness into your garden. All right, so
that sets the mood.
I'm so startled.
Job done.
So we're gonna start out with the plants that are in some ways closest to the worms in the ground, the ground covers.
Of course, you would phrase it that way.
Let's start with Passi for this one.
Sure. Selaginella intermedia. black form, I think, because there's a normal green one too. I'll upload a photo here for you guys. Here you go. It's normally from the Philippines, so this is not something that you can put out year round, preferably unless you feel like burning money, because they're also not cheap. I did have one at one point, and it, like many other plants inside of my orchid terrarium, slowly died. So, unfortunately, I wouldn't recommend necessarily growing this unless you're ready to dedicate a lot of effort into making sure that it's the happiest it can be. But apparently, once it is growing, it takes off.
Do you think it was a humidity issue?
I think it was because it wants humid, and I was like, my orchid terrarium, that's the most humid place in probably this city. And then instead I think it was too humid.
Oh.
Zappy, what about you?
All right, so I was thinking more outdoors, although that is a really epic looking moss.
Hey, if you're in the Philippines, that is outdoors, so.
Yeah, true. Okay, so the first one I was thinking about is called Black Mondo grass, and it is...
love it.
I mean, it's honestly, it's grown on me a lot. At first, I was like, this looks kind of weird and fake and whatever, and I was just like, meh. But it turns out it's really tough and really does a great job of being a ground cover. Since it's so actually black, it actually is a really great plant to have to highlight more yellow foliage things. Like it contrasts so strongly. And then it has cute little flowers too and little berries, and I just like it. It's a survivor, and it's cool. So it tends to like shadier conditions, but it can handle a bit of sun. Another one that I was thinking of is
wow, I had no idea the flowers were so pronounced and beautiful.
I've not seen one look that glorious in real life, but like they're cool.
Sorry, I interrupted you. I got excited.
No worries. That's what it's all about, is being excited about plants. Another one is called brass buttons, which it's named for its flowers, which are these little like yellow things, and they look kind of like buttons, I guess, and they're yellow, so people are like brass. But the foliage is hella cute, honestly, because like they're like 2 inches tall, and they have this ferny foliage, and it's black. And like the first time I saw it, I was like, "Is this plant healthy?" Because it's just like these tiny little black things. But yeah, it's healthy. It carpets extremely well. It's really cute if you plant it in between, like, pavers or flagstone or whatever. It's never going to get too tall. So I like both of those. And then, of course, ajuga, and particularly the black scallop variety is one of my favorite ground covers. Just like out of a sense of fondness. I'm fond of this plant because its leaves are a purpley black, and then it also has purple flowers. And at least where I am, it is a very strong contender. Like, it will outcompete other things, and it can like even survive in a lawn that's getting mowed, and it looks cool in there too. So it turns out I have a lot of options.
And it's super easy to divide.
Oh yeah.
If you want
and
more.
It puts out little runners, like, it's cute.
It is very cute. All right. My turn?
Yeah.
My first plant is Epimedium washanense. I don't know. Sandy claws. And it is a shade plant, and it tolerates dry shade, which is really great for me. And another thing really great for me is that Epimediums have not been bunny favorites in my garden. Huge plus. This grows to about 12 to 16 inches tall and 18 to 24 wide. And it's got these long, lance-shaped leaves with spiny margins, and they come out kind of maroon in the spring. So they look kind of kind of a little scary, I would say.
Devil wings. That's a good thing.
I really like that. I really like that toothy margin,
Yeah.
actually. That looks
Yeah.
really cool. And there, it's kind of like a highlighted yellow almost.
Yeah.
I have an epimedium wishenance, but not this cultivar. I think I need to get this one. It's pretty nice. And I think it would look really good with Japanese painted ferns to pick up that sort of maroon color, sort of purple tones in those. And I think also autumn ferns would look really good with this because they emerge kind of a bronze color, copper color. And so they have this coloration, both of them have that in the spring. Yeah, tiny white jester hat flowers on wiry stems, also very cute, maybe not super spooky, but adorable. And it's hardy in zones 6 through 8. The other plant I want to talk about is Sempervivum Black. And that's just one of the cultivars. There's lots of other cultivars that also look kind of goth or kind of spooky. There's Appletini, which is green with dark tips, and Chocolate Kiss, that's a burgundy brown, and Onyx, which might possibly actually be darker than black. So I have some stats here about black. It grows 4 to 6 inches tall and 6 to 8 inches wide. And this, as a succulent, it needs good drainage, but it is very winter hardy. Down to zone 3. So that's a good plant. That's a plant Passi could grow.
That's a winner.
Yeah. And I really like these actually in pots. I know that's not really a ground cover when it's in pots, but I think, well, one, get them up off the ground away from the bunnies. And I think they look really cool with sedums and opuntias and louisias. And there's some really cool new mangaves that kind of look spooky too. And I think that would make a really kind of scary, goth, pointy, prickly pairing.
Okay,
Nice.
we're going up a little bit to the next herbaceous layer up. These plants might be good to hide corpses behind, I think.
Oh, no.
Are they tall enough? Well, maybe some of them, but good suggestion, SpaceButler. Thank you.
If you have a dense planting.
Okay.
Dense planting and a shallow hole for the body, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. We're working this out.
It's part of the season, of course.
Yes.
All right. Let's start with Zappy this time.
All right. So the first one on my list was voodoo lilies, which is really funny given the hiding bodies comment, because when they flower, they do smell like something died. So you can just be like, oh no, that's just the voodoo lilies. Nothing fishy is going on here.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Convenient.
So it's really funny because the voodoo lilies are just, I don't even know. They have really interesting flowers. They're these, they kind of like a calla lily, but dark purple and the center is black, and they smell to high heaven, and people like them. I've taken care of them in several gardens, and my recommendation would be to plant it very far away from your front door. Because, they do have a strong scent. They're also really weird, and they're just eye-catching, and people just like them. And so I think that would fit in well. More to my desires as far as not having a terrible smell. I like hellebores, and I didn't pick a particular variety because there's just so many. But a lot of hellebores are this really dark purple, and they're really tough plants. At least where I live, they hardly require any care whatsoever.
Oh, yeah. You can ignore them.
Right, yeah. You can literally just plant and ignore them. If you want to do a little cleanup, you can. But if you don't, they're just gonna be there. And they'll slowly get bigger. A little more work, but looking cool year-round instead of just flowering for a certain period of time, is Heuchera black pearl.
Mhm.
Heucheras are really fun to me because they come in so many different colors. And this particular one is a really, really dark reddish purple, almost black. And I think heucheras are a lot of fun because you you can contrast color with the same plant because like there's also really yellow ones and red ones and green ones, and there's a whole tapestry of color that you can get from these guys.
Yeah.
And and there's cutesy little ones like coral bells, and again, pretty easy to take care of.
And they keep their foliage in some cold temperatures, so you might have that foliage up when you have the hellebore blooming, which would be so beautiful together.
They keep their leaves pretty much all year here, at least.
Yeah,
But,
maybe not for Passi,
mild
but
donate. Not for everyone else.
I've had them keep their foliage. Sometimes they kind of like poop out toward the later part of winter, but then they reflush.
Yeah.
They can be pretty tough cookies.
IG, you want to go next?
Okay. The first plant I want to talk about is Begonia ferox. Don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but you know the rule, just say it with confidence. It's a rhizomatous begonia, and it looks vicious. The word ferox comes from the Latin word for fierce, I believe, and it has these black spikes on it, which are called, let me see here, bullae? Have you heard of that, Passi?
I have not. I have tried to grow one of those, though, and I never even looked into the terminology for it.
It's Bullae. I could be mispronouncing it.
Say it with confidence.
Yeah, bullae.
There we go.
So they actually kind of have a red tip with a trichome at the end of it. They freak me out. I mean, this is maybe not a plant I would pick for myself, but I know a lot of people would be all over this. This wasn't discovered until 2011, which is so recent. It's crazy to me. It was found growing on a, is it limestone mountain slope, something like that, in China. And, since then it's made it to the market, and it's getting to be pretty affordable, which is pretty crazy too. And it likes high humidity, so it's a terrarium plant. Is that the experience you had with it, Passi?
I want to say yes, but I put it in my terrarium and it's same story. Tale as old as time. I think I need to get rid of this terrarium.
The terrarium of death. Also very thematic for the episode.
I think it is. Also the terrarium of like losing expensive plants.
Oh no. The next two plants I'm going to talk about are sort of a solution to a problem I had. So I have this east side of my house, this border along the east side, that I had white and chartreuse flowers. I'm sorry, Passi, I'm going to be talking a lot about chartreuse, and I know you hate it. And then I don't know what I was thinking. I probably had a plan at the time. This was years ago. I planted a dahlia that has dark foliage and sort of like a peachy, orangey bloom on it. And that thing has survived. I have lost count of how many years in my zone 6. It must be like sheltered from the house a bit, with an overhang from winter moisture, not just the cold, and it keeps coming back. So I am not about to dig that thing up and get rid of it. So I am completely redoing the border around this dahlia just because it lives. So the idea is to add dark foliage to the bed because I think it looks so good with the chartreuse and with this orange. It actually forms a triadic color scheme, which is colors that are sort of equidistant on the color wheel. And I have a picture somewhere, SpaceButler. Can you post it? Do you see it? So these colors they make up a triangle, and what that means is that they create this energy. Like when you have colors that are very close to each other on the color wheel, it looks serene. But then when you have colors that are spaced out like this, they vibrate against each other. So it's going to be a completely different feel than what I had before, but I'm embracing it. So they're also tertiary colors, which means it's beyond a secondary color. So like it's not purple, it's sort of a red purple burgundy, and it's not just orange, it's sort of a yellow orange, sort of apricot that I'm embracing and adding roses in those colors. Hopefully that's next year. And then yellow green is the chartreuse of my beloved lime green Nicotiana. So the plants I've added are Penstemon Dark Towers and Euphorbia Minors Merlot. Minors Merlot is sort of marginally hardy for me. I keep saying different things about it, whether they're hardy to zone 6 or 7, so we'll see. But I love Euphorbias. I think they're beautiful. Plus, the bunnies, I mean, sometimes they bite them off, but they can't actually eat them. So hopefully they'll eventually stop biting them and they can grow. And Dark Towers is hardy in zones 3 through 8 and grows 3 feet tall to about 2 feet wide. And I think I actually have that planted next to a chartreuse foliage oregano, but I think it's not one of the fancy cultivars like Drops of Jupiter. I think Drops of Jupiter would look fantastic with this because it actually has those burgundy purple blooms, and that would be chef's kiss. I need to get some. So yeah, that's the story of how I'm gothifying my delicate frothy white and lime green border.
I like the description for those colors. I think those 3 colors, how you describe them, I think that's going to look really, really good together.
I hope so. Fingers crossed. What about you, Passi? What are your corpse hiding plants?
Oh, well, I'm going to start off with one that's extremely thematic, almost too thematic. So it has a couple different common names. One of them, it's like an older common name that is being kind of tossed out, which I'm happy about. The species is Monotropa uniflora. Its common names used to be Indian pipe, but obviously that's not the best common name. So a different one that's coming around that a lot of people prefer to use is ghost pipe.
Mm-hmm.
And these plants are parasitic
Nice.
to the root systems of other plants, and so they don't have any chlorophyll. They're just pure white, and they look so cool. Apparently you can eat them. Like, I think they're supposed to be something similar to like asparagus, but they're also like, if you ever see them growing, like they look so cool and they're so uncommon that, chances are you don't want to eat it because why destroy something so pretty?
Yeah.
There's for in terms of growing, technically it's possible. Technically, however, if you try Googling this, you're going to come across a whole bunch of those just generic websites where they say like, oh yeah, this is an easy thing to grow. It's really not. You need like dark, thick forest and like shaded forest. Because it's a parasitic plant, it lives off of the mycorrhizal networks. So it really needs like a mature forest that's well grown for it to be able to even establish itself. So there's a very high chance that most people aren't going to have something like that available to grow this plant from seed. So, I wouldn't recommend ordering seeds off Amazon to try and do that for multiple reasons. But, if you see one in the wild, definitely just pause and enjoy it because they look so cool. And like thematic on so many levels.
Mm-hmm. I'm so glad you mentioned it because it really saves me the embarrassment of adding the word phantasmagoric to the episode description. Because these are phantasmagoric.
It's actually kind of fun because they are actually kind of common in the woods around here. So I see these guys every year and they're so cool. And it's so bizarre to me that anyone would even think of eating them because they just look so fragile and insubstantial. I'm like, why would you even think to eat this?
Well, that's the other thing is like, yeah, they're tiny.
Yeah.
I think SpaceButler agrees. He just literally will not eat anything out of the garden. Like, eat your vegetables.
This one would be pretty low on my list. I think I'd go with a foxglove before this.
Oh, please don't. Please don't.
Well, for a different plant, if SpaceButler wants to eat for a different kind of herbaceous plant that you could grow, this one is, I think it's Actea pachypodia or something like that. Its common name is white baneberry. The bane in baneberries doing a lot of work. In case you're wondering what it does, it's very poisonous. I wouldn't recommend eating it. But its other common name, because very thematic, is doll's eyes. Because those berries have that little black dot on them. And like I've seen people growing them in gardens and whatnot. And it's every time I see one, it just feels really uncomfortable.
Yeah, I agree.
And then if people want to burn a bunch of money, I think maybe the price is coming down on these for like a nice herbaceous spooky goth plant. There's Begonia Darth Vader Rihanna. I'm sure I mispronounced that. It's based off of Darth Vader. Yeah. The species was founded like 2014, which is super recent in the Philippines.
That's even more recent than the Ferox. Wow.
And just, they look so cool. Just super dark leaves with the green lime right, it's like green line right around the margin. Like, oh my God.
You mean chartreuse?
Sure.
It's chartreuse.
Do you have to pay money to Disney when you grow this plant?
You know, their lawyers haven't contacted me yet, but it might be best to just edit out anytime I try and say its name, just to be safe.
Okay, yeah, we'll keep it on the DL. Please, no listeners.
Bleep, bleep.
if you're a listener and you're a fan of this kind of plant, please don't contact Disney.
Please don't turn us in.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
You know, Passi, I'm shocked you didn't mention your beloved Audrey for this category.
You know, it's a really nice plant. The only problem is it's bent on world domination.
Oh, okay.
Just a shame.
Carnivorous plants are pretty good for this category, though. Like, they're creepy AF, wouldn't you say? Or is it just me? Those bloodsuckers?
I'd say they're pretty dang creepy. I think they would get like an 8 out of 10 on the creepy scale.
Oh, really? What goes above that?
Honestly, I don't have anything off the cuff that's creepier than that, besides maybe the doll's eyes. They're just so unsettling.
They really are. They really are.
If people could post more in the chat, I could not look at that photo.
All right, so we're moving on up. Next is shrubs. And I think shrubs are great places for spiders to hang out. You get a lot of spider webs on shrubs, and that's pretty cool. Any shrub can fit this category if they got a good, healthy collection of spiders.
I'm face palming.
Okay, we'll start with you, IG.
Oh, okay. Well, this one I have no idea how to pronounce. It's Rosa Sericea, subspecies Omenensis, form Terracantha. Is that right? I don't know.
I don't know, but like I do know what the spelling is, and I think you hit that one out of the park.
Awesome. Okay, so this little guy is a sweetheart of a rose with delicate single 1-inch white flowers that usually have just 4 petals, which is very unusual for a rose. Oh, so sweet. So you might ask me why I am including this in a Halloween episode. Well, I am glad you asked. Yes, you asked. Okay. So it has massive red prickles. They are enormous. And look at this. I mean, look at this. So apparently, those are not thorns. Roses don't have thorns. Roses have prickles, which are spine-like superficial outgrowths of the stem. My mind was blown when I read this. I have to admit, I did not know that. So I've seen this sold as winged bloodthorn rose, which I think is a fantastic name. There's also a cultivar called Red Menace, which is also a fantastic name. So the prickles cover the entire length of the stems, and they are brighter on young growth. I think when the plant ages, they sort of turn more brown, so you might want to get rid of the old stems. But you probably want to prune all the way down to the ground so it keeps its natural sort of spreading vase shape. It also has beautiful red hips, and it grows up to 8 feet tall and wide. It is either hardy down to zone 6 or 7. Again, I'm seeing conflicting information, and I think usually when rose growers aren't sure, they put just zone 7 by default, so it's very likely that it is hardy to lower than zone 7. I think this is such a cool plant. The other plant, as you said I needed in the chat.
It looks
what a
so
splendid
cool.
rose.
Oh my goodness. I want that so bad.
Foliage too. It's like so fine and delicate. It's like such a contrast to those prickles.
Oh, that's so cool.
So the other plant I want to talk about was a huge sensation at Cultivate last year, which is sort of a horticulture green industry conference. Everybody went crazy when Bailey's Nursery introduced it.
Did you say the name of this one?
Hydrangea macrophylla eclipse.
Okay.
It has dark purple, almost black foliage that is very stable throughout the season. Sometimes dark foliage on plants is sort of like temperature dependent or fades throughout the season, but this seems to have very consistent color. And the sepals, which make up what we call the blooms on the hydrangea, which aren't really flowers, but just the sepals, they have this cranberry border and they fade to white in the center. And I'm not sure what happens with acidic soil. Maybe the color would change. I'm guessing it probably would a little bit. I think it's so, so beautiful. And it's hardy down to zone 5 and up to zone 9. And this is supposed to be a remontant variety, which means it reblooms on new wood. So if you lose it over a harsh winter all the way down, you should still be able to get blooms. So, so pretty.
That is so gorgeous.
Passi?
I have nothing that could ever top that rose.
Oh!
that rose, I'm still floored by it. Oh my goodness. I need to get a cutting of that somehow, because that is a cool plant. I was thinking just for funsies, like, I can't grow these unfortunately, but I was thinking like these, they have a nice shape, they have a nice volume. I think they grow up to like 2 meters tall, which I don't know what that is in freedom units, but that's pretty tall.
6 feet-ish.
Cordyline fruticosa black magic is the cultivar, and
Beautiful.
they just have like these huge dark purple leaves, which is pretty much as close as you're going to get in most plants to like a nice black.
Mm-hmm.
But like as a statement plant, I think those look nice.
Yeah. I like that we're adding all these plants that can be grown indoors because we really want to have that 365 goth vibe.
Oh yeah, I just want a nice sad emo room every day of the year.
Doesn't everyone?
Wow. Well, unfortunately mine don't grow indoors. And there's no
It's okay.
way.
I forgive you, Zappy.
They just, I mean, your hydrangea and your rose are so epic. It's.
Oh.
Okay. So I picked 9-bark.
That's a good one.
Summer wine black. So this is a cultivar of a native plant in my region. 9-bark's, good for pollinators and all that stuff. And it just has black leaves. It's just this black hole of a plant when you see it in the landscape. And then it's got white flowers.
It's beautiful.
And it's big and it's vigorous. And I'm just still mentally picturing that hydrangea and those gorgeous flowers. So 9-barks. They're awesome. Super hardy.
It is a beautiful, beautiful plant.
Right. Another one that I really like is, it's actually an elderberry. Just changed my mind what I was going to talk about. Called black lace.
I love that one.
Yeah.
Yes.
So its foliage is black and it is lacy. So it's this feathery black So it does really fit the gothic vibe, I think.
Yeah.
Because, like, you get that fanciness in goths with all the lace and frills and stuff. And here's a shrub with delicate black foliage, and then it has these, elderberries have these big white flowers. Its flowers are a little tinged with red or pink, if you want to call it that. And then it follows up with blackberries, because they're elderberries. So it's gorgeous, honestly. And I like it a lot in the landscape. Yeah, I was going to talk about, I always mess up how to pronounce these guys. Weigelos?
Yeah, I don't know. Everybody says it differently.
Widen roses. And like, where I've seen them, the foliage is a lot darker than this picture shows. But, various conditions are going to lead to different depths of color. It's a nice little shrub. It's covered in flowers. It's just going to be there and be neat looking and be a workhorse in the garden.
I think it's very nice and goth. It's got the dark foliage and the reddish flowers. It's very like goth romance.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
just looking at these photos, like I can't help but think like, oh, that's a plant I would expect to see in like the Addams Family garden.
Yeah,
like, that would be there,
Oh my god, I would love to see that garden.
Oh, same.
Okay, now that's all I'm going to think about.
Well, you have to think about that, and you have to think about trees, because I want to hear about these goth trees that you got coming my way.
Yeah, the next is trees. These are good to hide behind if you want to surprise somebody. Always good to have in a garden.
Oh my god, SpaceButler, these suggestions of yours today for certain behaviors are... I'm going to just say that we do not accept any responsibility for harm caused if you follow SpaceButler's suggestions.
It seems harmless to me, so I don't think there would be any problems. What's wrong with a little hide and seek?
What's wrong with a little boo?
Exactly. We'll start with Passi on this one.
Sure. I guess for me, the in terms of like a nice dark colored or goth tree, there's multiple reasons why this one would be a good spooky addition. It's Betula pendula, and then there's like a cultivar of it called Black Prince. It has really dark foliage, which is nice. But if you're anybody who goes out into the field and they do like any plant ID at all, you'll know right away that Betula, that whole genus, is just, it's a nightmare. It's not fun to ID. It's a horrible time. So that alone is a very spooky reason behind my choice. But I'll see if I could find a photo. But they're really nice. It's like, it's so dark purple that in some photos of this plant, it's almost like brownish in terms of just like dark foliage. Here we go. Okay, and so that's my plant. If you guys want to just discuss your trees while I find a nice high resolution image, because the current one I'm looking at has about 4 pixels in it.
Oh boy.
Sure, Zappy, you want to go next?
Sure. I picked like 3 because apparently I have a problem narrowing down.
Hey, all good, all good.
Yeah. One of them is Hollywood Asian plum, and it's actually been one of my favorite plums for a while, for no other reason than because someone on a street near-ish to me planted them, decades ago at this point, and no one ever picks the fruit. So I go and I, knock on the door, and I'm like, hey, can I pick some of your plums? Because, it's a rental now, right? And everyone's always like, oh, sure! So I like it for that reason. They're very tart, delicious plums. The foliage for this show is this dark red. It's probably, in my opinion, one of the prettier of the red foliaged plum trees. And then the fruit is also a dark red, and the flesh of the plum itself is also red. So it's a very red tree, a very delicious red.
So when you're biting into the fruit, it looks like it's blood.
Yeah, it's great. Some other ones I talked about, the purple leaf hazelnut. So hazelnuts are used a lot in landscapes around here. And this one has nice dark foliage. And one of my favorite uses of hazelnuts that I've seen is someone planted a row of 3 of them about 15 feet away from the west side of their house. So between the trees and the house, it created this dark little cool cave because they did such a good job of collecting all that sunlight. And so that's just a really nice environment to be in. It's dark, it's cool, it's shady. And then also my last one is a red bud. It's called Ruby Falls, and it is gorgeous. Like,
it is.
I
Yeah, I've seen that one.
usually focus more on plants that I can eat in some way. And I guess some people make red bud jelly now that I think of it or whatever. But this one, it's just gorgeous. Like the leaves just, I don't think pictures really capture their beauty, honestly. And then in the fall, they turn orangey, and so they're like even more cool looking, and it's this weeping form. So like it's just beautiful. Like the pictures really don't do it justice. It's one of those trees that you like see and you walk up to it and you're just looking at those leaves because the leaves are just beautiful.
Amazing. I don't know if this is just a propensity of the family, but hazelnuts and birches, they're related, right? They're in the birch family. They both are. So I don't know. Do they just like making dark leaves? I don't know.
I mean, I think those are both cultivars.
Yeah, they are, yeah. So maybe I'm making connections where there aren't any. One of the plants I'm going to talk about is also in the birch family. Do you have any more, Zappy, or is it my turn?
No, I'm done.
Okay, so the trees I picked, there's 2 trees. They make me think of the Tim Burton goth horror aesthetic because they have these very contorted sort of elbowy, spiky, I don't know, growth. And I think they're really great for structure in the winter because once all the foliage drops, you really get to enjoy that. So the first tree is Citrus trifoliata, which is a hardy citrus from zones 5 through 9. And the fruit is very acidic from what I understand and seedy, so it's not great for eating, but you can make marmalade out of it. But I just think this plant, the geometry of it, those thorns, it is insane. Like, wow. You can make an impenetrable hedge out of them, or you can use them as a specimen. Oh, Zappy, you're saying here in the chat that you have a cutting of it?
I actually took a cutting from a shrub last Christmas.
Yeah? How's that going?
And it has done absolutely nothing besides not die. So,
well,
I'm holding out
that's
hope.
something. So basically what you're saying is that you have a bonsai.
I have a twig. It's green and it's alive.
Is it thorny?
It is exceptionally thorny. And these guys, yeah, this is an excellent choice because, like, talk about geometry. It's just, they're so bizarre. And like, you cut it off the plant and you're like, wait, which way is up? You know?
Yeah. So it does have lovely smelling flowers and the fruit is very ornamental. So I think all around this is just a cool plant to have. The other plant, the other tree I want to talk about is actually technically a shrub, but it looks a lot like this minus the thorns. And it is Corylus evillana contorta. Probably mispronouncing, does it matter? Not really. It's the contorted filbert or Harry Lauder's walking stick. It grows a little smaller. The Citrus trifoliata grows 8 to 10 feet tall by 6 to 15 wide, and this only gets to about 8 to 10 tall and wide. And there is a cultivar named Red Dragon that has dark foliage, which only gets to 5 to 6 feet tall and wide. It has lovely catkins in the spring, and I think it is just a fabulous ornamental plant. And I saw one and I didn't buy it, and I've been thinking about it ever since.
That looks so cool.
Have you guys come across it?
Oh, yes.
I've never seen this. I mean, it might just be because, like, maybe I'm just in an area that's too cold that they're never going to try and sell a gigantic house tree, but...
It's hearted down to zone 4, so you're just right outside the range.
Dang it.
Yeah, I've come across them. They're fun, and they're kind of fun to prune, too, because of their contortedness.
Oh, because you have, like, all the joints that you can prune to, right?
Yeah. And, detangling the twigs is a little bit of a puzzle sometimes.
I think they're just so beautiful.
They're very cool.
I don't think SpaceButler shares my love for them.
They're a little creepy. I don't like the twisted branches so much.
Well, that's the part we love.
Yeah, it feels like it's like corrupted somehow. Like I don't know. Like there's been something wrong going on in this area, so the tree is like this. It's very unsettling. This is more unsettling to me than the doll's eyes plant, honestly.
Huh.
This fits the Halloween vibe so well.
It does.
Yeah. It's actually, I believe it's in the hazelnut family too. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
You guys are adding a bunch of plants to my needed plant list now.
That's good because I want to be an enabler.
No.
All right.
No. We're moving on to the next area. Well, this isn't strictly straight up, but it's garden decor. So stuff. It might be higher, it might be lower than a tree, but something you can put around the garden that gives a certain something. We'll start with Zappy.
I'm going with the classic, possibly unimaginative, but black wrought iron gates.
Can't do without it.
You got that mental image of whatever stereotypical movie you're watching with the creepy gothic mansion and the gate creaks open. Yeah.
Gotta have it.
But they also look cool. So,
Mm-hmm.
nice standard.
I mean, like, out of the Halloween season, they don't look like you still have your fake spider webs up, so...
Oh, yeah, fake.
You don't have to take it down, and it's appropriate all year long.
And, like, maybe you have some vines crawling up it. It'd be cool.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Passi?
I was just busy Googling some nice black wrought iron gates, They just have such a good vibe. I think that'd be such an easy way to, like, dress up your house to look Halloween-y. Like, if you put something on the, like, gates to kind of make it look a little bit more like a haunted kind of house without actually having to, like, create a bunch of garbage in the process of decorating. So I really like that because, I don't know, I think I've seen it
sustainable Halloween decor.
Yeah, I've just seen too many, like, Halloween decorations where it's like you rake up the leaves in your lawn, you put them in, like, a orange garbage bag that has a pumpkin face on it, and you call it a day, and, like, that's fine, I guess, but, like, something like that, I feel like you could make it look spooky so easily.
What would be really fun is making a wreath out of the trifoliate citrus.
Oh, yes!
Yes! I do need to get another one of those trifoliate citruses because I had one and it died because of mealybugs. Go figure.
Oh, those awful devil spawn. Now talk about, like, demonic Halloween stuff. It doesn't get any scarier than that.
They're the worst. And, like, on top of that, too, it's such a cool plant because it's a deciduous plant, which, like, a lot of the orange family, I think they're frequently evergreen, so it's, like, kind of a weird one on top of it just being weird in every other way. But This is all an aside. Anyways, for my Halloween decor, I think if you were to find yourself some nice, really tall, like vintage candelabras, like I'll post a photo of one in the chat. And if you took one of those, I think you could really easily take something like that and convert it to either, have like a slightly different look and use it to hold pots for plants that kind of drape or hang over. I think that could be a really easy way to get like a nice, dark gothic vibe if you wanted to go that route. So that's where I would go for garden decor. That plus all the wrought iron gates, which I'm looking up now online.
This would be such a good project to do together. If we ever got together, we could like create a goth garden.
It'd be pretty epic.
If I break and I drop out of school, I'm 100% down to do this.
Okay, but I hope you don't. Okay, so my decor choices are sort of centered around the Gothic period and architecture, with Gothic arches and containers with Gothic arches and quatrefoil motifs, which you often saw on stone Gothic arches in the Gothic period. How many more times am I going to say Gothic? And Gothic benches with quatrefoils and Gothic arches.
Does Hot Topic pay you like $1 every time you drop that word? I just want to know.
So I've rounded up some images here, and this Home Depot planter, I've been eyeing this. Like, I'm seriously considering this. The one that's like hexagonal with the quatrefoil motif. It's kind of nice.
I like these. I think they're all nice, like long-standing things that can be in the garden and just like hang around there and look good without, you needing to like put it away after Halloween.
Yeah.
I was looking into like suggesting maybe like a coffin-shaped coffee table, but then like if you have something like that and spooky, it like after Halloween, what do you do with it, right? Whereas like all of these other things, you can dress it up and look really fun throughout the summer, and then just in, October, you go all spooky.
Yeah, they probably won't even seem that, I don't know, all that scary or goth in other seasons. But then when Halloween comes around, it really recontextualizes it. You look at it in a different way, and you experience it in a different way and enjoy it in a different way. I think all those things can be incorporated without making it kitsch.
Mm-hmm.
Not that there's anything wrong with kitsch.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like there's a bunch of houses around my area that have gone all out for Halloween like they normally do, and I've already gone walking around to just take a look at these houses because they go all out and it looks really fun.
It's fun, yeah. And now a word from one of our community members.
Hi there, I'm Frank from the Garden Revival Discord community. Isn't this podcast great? You should subscribe to it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or one of the dozens of other streaming apps out there. And while you do that, I'll just go throw some shrimp on the butt. Wait, I'm not Australian, I'm from New Zealand. Who wrote this shit?
Oops, note to self, fire entire writer's room.
We're ready for the big burning questions. We have some questions that were sent in. The first question is from Mitula, and Mitula asks, I want to know about and read about cactuses in a physical book. So Astrophytum, Gymnocalcium, Echinopsis, Rebutia, Mammillaria, Opuntia, and breeding them. So they looked online. They couldn't find anything that seemed reasonable to them. Do you have any answers on books?
Yeah, totally. I think it's a completely reasonable thing to try looking into, and then like just hitting the wall of all of those like bot generated articles that get posted onto Google and take up the first however many pages, right?
Yeah.
So I would suggest, in terms of physical books, and unfortunately a lot of these books, like, you're gonna have to go out of your way to hold if you really want to hold them. But if you find like a university library, they're probably going to have it in like one of their old sections. There's one called the Cactus Primer, which is a really useful book for just kind of going through like some of the subfamilies as well as like some of the genera and just like morphologies, I guess, of cacti. And then if you wanted to look into like breeding, because that's a secondary kind of thing, there's a couple different books I would recommend. There's a chapter on just breeding cacti for their fruit in this book called Advances in Plant Breeding Strategies, and then there are chapters on fruit.
Huh.
I'll post the names of these things into the chat too, because it's kind of helpful that way. Another one is Principles and Methods of Plant Breeding, which is a book that's really good as just like an all-round general kind of take on plant breeding, which is still applicable to cacti. And Desert Plants, Biology and Biotechnology. That's another useful one. It's also, admittedly, these are going to be very dry reads. I apologize, but that's kind of just the way it is.
I don't know. I think that's what our questioner wants.
Okay.
What was the name? I'm sorry.
Metula, I think.
Metula.
Totally. And then also, anyone who's kind of interested, there is a website here. I'll post it in the chat as well. I think it's called like Lifel. It's a website where people can post photos and species names for like their different plants, which they have a whole subsection just on cacti and then the different genera in cacti. So like if you want to look into specific cacti species and like look at, their photos to see kind of if you're looking for a spooky one or like a really interesting weird one, that's a great way to kind of sift through a lot of the plant species.
Nice.
Yeah, I want to mention, I think I don't have any problem with the books that you mentioned. I don't know anything about this, but these look like books that are like from academic publishers. And if people don't know, they are very expensive if you want to get a copy of them yourself. So I think your advice for going to your local university and seeing if they have a copy that you can look at is a very good one.
Yeah, and I can't recommend it enough. Like I was trying to find this one book called Plant Reproductive Ecology by the authors Lovett Doust and Lovett Doust. Go figure. And to buy it, it's like a $300 book because it was printed in the 70s. But then, of course, my university library has a copy of it in their like frequently never ever checked out ever, nobody reads these books section, and so it's a separate building. Yeah, it's a separate building of the unpopular books, and they brought it out, and like I read it. Awesome book, fantastic book. I loved reading it. It was super interesting. But yeah, so university libraries, they go hard.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Especially if you're trying to read those $300 books from half a century ago. Okay, our next question is from Team Valor. How do I get amorphophallus to bloom faster? I don't know why you would want that. Don't they all smell horrible?
You just can't wait for that scent.
I mean, if you're growing it, I guess you want it.
I want the stinky, and I want it now. It depends on the species, but one thing that has been shown to work in at least some species, both of just general plants, but then also of species within this genus, is gibberellic acid, which I think I've talked about on here before. It's really useful for germinating seeds. It can also be used to induce flowering, but you just have to be careful with the concentrations you're using, and the compound breaks down over time in sunlight, moisture, air, so it's like you buy it, and then if you don't use it, you lose it in a couple months. But you can get amorphophallus to bloom faster with at least some species with that. But heads up, they do build up a lot of energy in their corm before they flower. And so if you induce flowering early, you might end up killing your plant.
Oh.
That's good to know.
Yeah, dangerous business.
And like you should aim to have a stinky plant for as long as possible, right? Like you don't want that stinky to come and go.
Yeah,
you want about long-lasting blooms for your amorphophallus.
Always.
All right. Anna asks, what's your favorite fall blooming flower?
Okay. There are so many fall blooming flowers. I think one of my favorites is actually very small and tiny and overlooked at times. It's cyclamens. There's a couple species that are hardy outdoors, at least to zone 8. And I really like them because right now, when everything else is winding down and turning brown or yellow and heading into dormancy, they are popping up with these cute little pink flowers and their cool foliage that will last throughout the winter and looks neat.
I really want some, but I'm worried about bunnies. I don't know. It's kind of an investment.
Yeah. I wonder if they are bunny resistant.
One way to find out.
Yeah. Well, one way to find out that I like to do is I like to check the veterinary references to see if they're poisonous to domestic rabbits or horses or goats when I'm trying to find deer and rabbit-proof things.
That's a great strategy, yes.
So cyclamens are apparently toxic, so should be bunny-proof.
Yes! I've had like a cart full for 2 years.
Oh, you know what? Time to buy them.
At Edelweiss Perennials.
If they've been sitting in your cart for 2 years, they might be dead by now.
It's a good one, Passi.
They're one of my favorites. A little earlier in the season, I am a sucker for asters. I love asters.
Oh, yeah.
They're beautiful. There are also like a buttload of native aster species, which are super helpful to a whole host of pollinators. And, you know, since they're native to where I am, they require very little care and are aggressive, which can be a good or bad thing, depending on your perspective. And well suited to climate, all of these things. So I love asters. I love cyclamens. There's honestly just so many fall blooming things. I think people kind of forget about them. Another one are actually saffron crocuses.
Oh, yeah.
Bloom in the fall. And that is not to say autumn crocus, because that is a different species, a different genus. That is poison. So don't eat that one. But saffron crocuses, like, they're pretty. Like, if you look at a saffron crocus, it's this deep purple and then the bright red, you know, saffron right there in the middle. Gorgeous.
Yeah.
And then you can pick the stamens and you get saffron too. So.
And to tie it back to an earlier thing with the autumn crocuses is they have a compound called colchicine, which you can use in plant breeding. You can use that to induce polyploidy, which I'm not going to bother get into because it's a topic that people who have fun don't care about. But needless to say, if you guys ever have an autumn crocus, please send me one because I would love to be able to get colchicine and use that for plant breeding.
Can you not buy those?
Well, how hard is it to send them to Canada?
I don't know. I've been looking around for them and I haven't been able to find one.
Oh,
but
really?
I don't know. It might just be like the time of the year I've been looking, or just maybe the local greenhouses haven't bothered to stock them. But yeah, also, colchicine's very toxic, so definitely watch out.
Try buying them as a dormant bulb would be my advice there, because, like, yeah, they're so common here.
IG, did you want to chime in with something?
Yeah, I'm kind of obsessed with anemones right now.
Oh, I love an anemone.
Yeah, I got 2 new to me varieties this year. I got Fall in Love Sweetly and I got Marguerite or something. But I couldn't tell the difference in the photos, but they actually are really different in person. One is a sort of a pinker color and the other is more purple. The Marguerite is more purple. I think they are so beautiful. And of course, Honorine Jobert is a stunner. So I don't know. I want to get more cultivars. I really want to get one that has very saturated sort of fuchsia pink petals. I think those would be so cool. And I love that they bloom late, and I love the little dot in the center with the little ball of chartreuse and the little yellow border around that. Adorable.
Okay. The next question we have is from B. Any tips for cactus spine removal from skin? Apparently it has some technical name that I'm not going to try to pronounce.
Glockids?
Glockids?
Yeah.
That's
that
ominous
right?
sounding.
Yeah, I think it's Glocken.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
They are pretty ominous, and she did say where those spines were. And I'll give you one guess. On her behind, get it? Because her name is B.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I've removed cacti from my collection. No, that's not true. I've removed the thorny cacti from my collection, but when I did have them, I am occasionally not the most graceful person, and so I have had glockids all up in my fingers, and it is not fun.
Me too. Yeah.
And most of the time what I did is I got a piece of duct tape and I just put it on and ripped it out over and over again. And because I was dealing with like teeny tiny ones that you can't really get with tweezers. They're too tiny.
Yeah. Those suck.
They
MacGyver those so-and-sos.
And then the other method I've heard of, or if duct tape or packing tape or whatever tape you have on hand does not work, I have heard of people getting the wax that you use for removing your own hairs and spreading that on and then waxing off the spines, which sounds painful to me because you're ripping up your own hair too, but at least you're no longer posting spines.
Yeah, that's a good one. I haven't heard that suggestion. I mean, good one, but painful.
Any other suggestions for this?
No, that's what I would have said. Well, not the wax thing, the tape thing.
I do really like that.
I've also heard of people smearing on glue.
Oh yeah, I heard that
there's
too.
Some kind of glue that may or may not work better than others, letting it dry and then peeling it off. So
yeah, I'm thinking like skull glue, maybe?
3 different options.
Yeah, like regular, like Elmer's glue, something like that.
Yeah, Elmer's glue. Yeah. Probably a better idea than using super glue. That might be slightly
don't use super glue. I think maybe wood glue might be okay.
Oh yeah, wood glue. I could see that working pretty well.
Yeah.
I find whenever I've gotten glockids in my, especially my hands, one thing I've done that I find to be really, really helpful for just finding them is just when you feel the pain of the glockid in your skin, try rubbing just that part of your hand against your lips, because your lips are so sensitive that you kind of feel the glockid sticking out of your skin just a little bit, and that can help you find it. Because sometimes they're so small you can't even see it.
Wow, Passi is a man with some experience here.
I have tweezers everywhere. I have them in my car. I have them in my backpack, in my desk, everywhere, because I just get cacti spines or glockids in me everywhere for some weird reason.
Oh.
I'll be out in the field and I'll notice a glockid in my hand. I don't understand.
Wow.
Yeah.
You have that kind of job. Zappy, is there a tool that you have multiples of that you have everywhere?
Oh, I mean, yeah, clippers everywhere.
Yeah.
Just good standard bypass clippers, just truck here. Yeah.
For some reason, I have tape measures everywhere. I can't explain it. I don't know why. There's literally one in the couch cushions at all times. Because those stupid cushions just always, slide apart. And I'm measuring things a lot.
You want to know the distance they're sliding apart.
Yeah. Obviously.
All right. Okay, so this question is from B. If you had to pick a larger plant that's evergreen to put right by a house, what would you pick? My mom wants hydrangea, but I would love more options. And this is Texas in Zone 8.
So I am also in Zone 8. So all of these things will also work for you, but they'll probably work better for you than for me. So the thing that immediately comes to mind as a wonderful evergreen foliage plant put near your house is a star jasmine, and it is a vine, so you would need a trellis. But it smells amazing, and it's beautiful, and your whole yard, when it is blooming, will smell like vanilla cake. It is just amazing. I need to get one. I don't have one yet. But oh, it smells so good. Another one I really like, and I talked about last time too, is pineapple guavas. They are evergreen. They're a dark green leaf. They have bright, hot pink flowers. Okay, they're kind of more pastel pink, but in my brain, they're hot pink. And you can eat the petals. They are candy flavored. And then you probably, since you're in a warmer Zone 8 than I am, warmer summer Zone 8 than I am, you'd actually get fruit.
Ooh.
Which I don't get the fruit.
I think B will be all over this because anything that is edible gets major bonus points from her.
Well, the next one is also edible. Loquats are so cool, and I don't see anyone talking about them. They are so weird looking to me. And maybe they blended more in warmer areas, but they've got these like foot-long, green, crumply looking leaves. Like they look like they'd be crunchy, and they're covered in fuzz, like their stems are fuzzy, and then they have fruit, which are the loquats. And I feel like a lot of people haven't had loquats, or maybe that's just me, but they're these little orange fruits, and they're cool. And I have one planted on the west side of my house, and it has yet to flower or fruit, and it's been 5 years. But I hold out hope because I hear that up in Seattle, some people actually have mature loquat trees that bear fruit. So, fingers crossed. And then non-edible but cool looking Japanese Aurelia are neat. And there's boring green ones, but there's a bunch of different variegated ones as well. And normally I don't say.
Oh, is that Fatsia japonica?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So standard green ones to me somehow manage to look boring, even though their leaves are these huge, I want to say palmate.
I think they're super cool. I would I mean, even a solid green one I'd be all over because to me they're very exotic and I can't grow them here.
Yeah, they look so weird up here because you don't get other plants that have that kind of foliage, well, except kind of like devil's clubs and castor beans.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a perennial, and they've got those weird flowers, and then you get these, variegated ones. They have white in them. They look cool. And the last one I like because it's an Oregon grape cultivar. And if you know Oregon grapes, one of the first things that comes to mind is how spiky and unpleasant they are. And this one is named Soft Caress.
I wish I could
really
grow that.
You to know.
Oh my god, I'm right outside the hardiness zone for that. I want that.
They're cool. I like them.
Beautiful plants.
Their foliage is this long, strappy. It looks feathery. It's soft. It's just such an interesting cultivar. You would look at it, and until it flowers, it's like, it doesn't look like an Oregon grape. And then it flowers, and it has the very typical Oregon grape flowers, too. So those are some of my favorite options for, evergreen foliage near your house. I think, having an arbor or whatever, some trellis for the star jasmine would just be such a wonderful thing to have growing outside your door, so you get to smell it all the time.
I gotta ask, because you mentioned the loquats, and I looked them up because I'd never heard of these, and they look so cool. It looks like they're in the rose family, and like I know like apples need to be crossed in order for them to produce fruit. Is it the same for loquats? Like, do you have to have like, let's say like, two different plants?
I haven't gotten there yet, because mine has never ever flowered, but it looks like they're self-compatible. So
Okay.
probably like with a lot of rose family things that are self-compatible, you'd get a heavier crop if you had two. Oh, I want to get more.
What do these taste like?
I have never gotten to eat them.
Oh no.
So I don't know. But I feel like I remember people saying they're kind of like an apricot or something, but that might just be because it looks kind of like an apricot. But they're supposed to be sweet and tangy, and like everyone likes to say, floral undertones.
Fruit is an interesting thing where like I feel like there's a lot of fruits that aren't commonly distributed in the US that we don't have a chance to eat. And if you have somebody who's trying to explain to you what a fruit tastes like, it's impossible. Like if you talk to somebody who had never had a grape before and you're trying to compare it to other fruits, like it would be impossible. You couldn't describe the taste of a grape.
I found this one YouTube channel a long time ago. I'll post it in the event chat. Called Weird Explorer.
Oh yeah. And this guy is pretty good.
He is. He actually has a really good way of explaining like the taste of the fruit he's trying, which is really nice.
Yeah, that guy will eat any fruit.
It's true. I don't know how he loves durian so much. Maybe it's like an acquired taste. That's the one that I can't do.
I have tried durian. I've tried it twice. I will try it a third time, but
yeah. What's your report on durian?
On durian? Well, it's kind of rude. But to me it definitely tastes kind of like pasty garbage.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, but there's a hint of sweetness under there, and I feel like if I try enough times, I'll acquire the taste.
I have heard that eating durian is like eating custard in a latrine.
Oh,
those are good descriptions. I tried durian once, and like apparently the smell is like quite strong, but it apparently it's different than the taste, and so if you can separate them, you can enjoy the taste.
Yeah.
I tried it, and I also could not. So to me, it tasted like sweaty socks. It's like with some sweetness, which is not a good combo.
No,
it's like eating custard in a overstuffed locker room.
Yeah, which is not a vibe.
Yeah, no, it's sad. It's like so many people, like, where it's from, people love it.
It's true.
They also have signs saying you can't bring durian in this establishment, so
I love that.
They know the controversy is there.
Oh, yeah.
No shirt, no shoes. Yes, durian. No service.
No durian. Do not bring durian here. But yeah, well, those who like it, good for you. You can enjoy it. If I had the opportunity, I think I'd give it a shot. But I'm not. I don't have high hopes for it.
Well, you say that it's hard to describe fruit flavor, but I mean, this really answered my question because I was going to ask, does it taste like amorphophallus smells? But I'm getting the impression that no. One is a dead body and the other one is a sweaty locker room. So very different.
Yeah.
I would say they're very different flavor / smells. Like the voodoo lily definitely smell like a rotting body, and the durian smells like the bottom of someone's garbage can that needs to be scrubbed out.
I am learning every day. This is good.
Great. Our last question here is from B also, and it's about when to plant garlic. So I guess this is also in Texas, but you can give your opinions of what works for you.
My zone 3 opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm clear.
I think it's still applicable because it takes a while to grow, right? But like garlic can overwinter really easily. So even here, so like in the fall, usually people, like I know people plant garlic in the fall, and then that way when the snow melts, it pops right up right away.
Yeah, they do need a cold period. So yeah, I'm just planted mine, and I'm a little behind schedule, but it's fine. But I have heard in is it warmer climates or colder climates? I think it's colder climates, like really, really cold climates. I've heard that they sometimes start them like in late winter instead of before winter, because they'll still get enough of that cold period, but they won't die from being too cold.
That's fair. Interesting. I will say, definitely for people who haven't tried growing it, grow garlic, because you can also get the garlic scapes, which are like, I think they're flowers, but they have a really interesting taste because they're a little bit more mild. Like it's still garlic, but it's pretty mild. They're really, really good. I think they're like a really nice addition for a bunch of different kind of cooking. If you wanted to have a garlic taste in something, but you don't want to have it being really pungent and overpowering. I love it.
Yeah. And that's the hard neck varieties. The soft neck varieties don't make the scapes, if I'm recalling correctly. But they're also really easy crop, in my opinion, because you plant them and mulch them. And, well, in my climate, the garden stops at the same time, around the same time that you're supposed to stop watering them so they can dry down. So it's like, hey, this is perfect.
Cool.
I think that's all the questions we have.
Thank you, Passi, Zappy, and SpaceButler. Thank you to our audience, everyone who submitted big burning questions. Thanks for our listeners on YouTube and podcast streaming apps. You can join us on Discord to chat at gardenrev.com/Discord. Listen to our BBQ live and see all the accompanying images we post. Read our blog on gardenrev.com and see our gardens on Instagram at gardenrev. See y'all later. Bye.